Hi, Jeff Wright here, President, CEO, South Bend Regional Chamber, continuing our candidate conversation today. I'm sitting down with St. Joseph County Council candidate and current county councilman in District A, Robert Bobby K. Kruszynski. Bobby K., thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good. Well, hey, appreciate this. What do you think? Great for our members to get a chance to get to know candidates a little better. Obviously, you're no stranger given the current role you have on the county council. But for those of our audience that maybe aren't familiar with who Bobby K is, tell us a little bit more about kind of your history and experience.
Well, I've been in public service for a little over 50 years, starting out really in 1967 under Republican Mayor Lloyd Allen, and worked my way up through the water department, through the sanitation department on different roles, managers, superintendents. Then I came to the St. Joseph County as the highway commissioner for 17 years. Was retired there. Uh, Went to work for the sheriff's department for 3 years and took a year off and was approached to run for office, and I'm glad I did it.
Great. Thanks, Bobby. Let's expound on that a little bit because obviously working in and around local government for a long time, you get a feel for kind of different leadership and county council and kind of what they do. Talk to us a little bit about that decision-making process to sort of seek public office, go out and meet constituents, decide to move into this next role. Talk a little bit about just that transition.
Well, I've been fortunate, Jeff, to be around people like you and people that that I mentored from coming through the ranks. I've been on both sides of the table, being from a laborer to a manager to a superintendent to elected official now. And I've always been a public person. My background is trying to help people, help residents, no matter where I've been. If it was managing the sanitation department, superintendent at the waterworks, as highway commissioner, when you're in charge of basically close to a little over 1,200 miles of road, you're going to talk to the public quite a bit. And then my civic background, as you know, I was a baseball official for 23 years, and that's high school and college and some minor league baseball level. So you meet great people there, administrators with school corporations, not just in St. Joe County, but in Elkhart County, Marshall County, LaPorte County. So I met a lot of people. I've been around a lot of good people, Jeff, and it just inspired me to run. I said I could do more, and I think I can still do more.
Great. So Bobby, let's talk for a little bit about dive into council a little bit. So first, you're the current councilman for District A, and you're running for re-election in District A. First, tell us a little bit about where District A is, just so that we have a feel for the geography.
Well, basically now under the redistricting, it basically goes from west of the river all the way through New Carlisle to the LaPorte County line to the state line on the north, and then down the new road on the south, and then you wind around 23 and come back up around uh, Four Winds Casino and through the city of South Bend, back around Elwood, Portage, and down the riverside back to the river,
Great.
basically northwest
Okay.
part of the county.
Yeah, so pretty big chunk of ground there to cover. So Bobby, let's dive in a little bit to the county council itself. Obviously, as elections are happening, people are paying a lot of attention. It seems like to bigger races, right? The Congress and Senate and all those get a lot of attention, but the local races people aren't often paying as much attention to. Talk to us for a second about the county council itself and kind of why that, kind of what a county council person does and why that position is so important to us here locally.
Well, I feel, Jeff, first of all, I feel that we've had this is my second term on the council, being, close to 8 years now. And I feel I've been around good council members where, it's been bipartisan, as you know, but we've seemed to work together. There's been a lot of 9-0 votes on various of issues, being legislative or, nationally, the county council is the fiscal body. We approve the budgets. We give everybody the money to spend based on what our financial consultants tell us and what our auditor tells us. And I feel we've had a good council this last 8 years. Very, like I said, very bipartisan. There's been a lot of 9-0 votes, and I'm very proud of that.
Great. Bobby, let's talk for a second. Having sat through a few of these before with you in particular over the last couple of 8 years, I think 8 years ago even, we were talking about county finances, worried about fiscal cliff, kind of what might happen. But the county council's taken some important steps to improve the financial position of the county. Talk a little bit about, kind of what you've been involved in there, especially on the finance budgeting side over your 8 years on the council.
Well, first of all, let me thank you for sitting on that COVID task force for, I don't know how long that was, a little over a year, maybe, and
Yeah,
the
couple
time and
years, yeah.
input that committee put in, and informing the public. But yeah, that was very challenging for the county, as it was for every body in St. Joe County, city, the towns, and for us to weather that storm was quite challenging, and still, the strengths that was to still, try to retain our employees and pay our employees and try to keep the fiscal responsibility of the county in check, which we thought we did, one great job. And sure, we had to hit the reserve a little bit, but sure, we were helped by the federal government and state government. But then now we have built our fiscal responsibility back up to the reserves that we feel pretty comfortable where we're at.
Great. Bobby, you mentioned a key point there when you talk about attracting and retaining staff in particular. It's obviously the top issue. So many of our business leaders that are watching, it's been especially challenging sometimes for local government because of those financial challenges. Tell us a little bit about just the county employees and the work that they do and kind of the effort you've made to sort of help retain those over the last few years.
Well, as you know, Jeff, you sat in my seat many a times, as mayor and so on. But yeah, retention employees is a big challenge, and when I say we, the council, over the last few years have tried to give raises based on our income, and that's coming in to retain employees. We have given raises over the years. We have signed. I'm pretty proud of the council. Over the last couple of years, we signed a 3-year agreement with the merit officers with the FOP. I just noticed that the city of South Bend just did that. We did that last year with our merit officers. Matter of fact, on our agenda at the end of the month, we're going to do a 3-year agreement with the correctional officers. Sheriff Redmond approached us and asked if we could do that, and we agreed, and so that's going to be on our committee agenda. But at the same time, giving raises to our employees, and as you know, about 74% of our budget or our fiscal responsibility is public safety, being health department, criminal justice, prosecutor, JJC, all those type sheriff's department and so on, but prosecutor. So that takes a pretty good chunk of your budget, and then trying to have some left and try to manage that for the other departments is very challenging.
Right. Yeah, Bobby, let's hop into your experience for a second. You mentioned many years serving in road commissioner, different pieces related to roads. Obviously, during campaigns, it feels like people are talking about roads and public safety and some of those. So talk a little bit about just the maintenance of the infrastructure, the challenges associated with that. My guess is that there's some limitations on the resources, but how does one attack sort of challenges with keeping up the infrastructure? Is it just about we need more money, or is it about kind of how we manage it overall?
Well, I'm an infrastructure guy, as you know, 17 years. I would know a little bit about roads and paving and chip and seal and bridges and so on. But I feel we as a council leaves that up to our department head in regards to the county engineer. We've had, since I've been on the county, we've had 3 different county engineers on the council. I mean, we've had 3 different county engineers, and they all been great. And they have a formula how they rate roads, and then they come to us, go to the commissioners, and the commissioners come to us, or sometimes the department head of public works, in this case right now, Sky Meters, will come to us and say, here's the roads we have rated. what do you council members think in your district? And actually I'm gonna argue or kind of fight for all I can get in my district,
Right.
which is you can notice that over the last year and a half in my district, there's been a lot of work being done, and I'm thankful of that. And naturally, the ARP, the American Rescue Money, has been very helpful. In the last 12 to 14 months, we've given Sky Meters a little over $11 million of ARP money for road paving, not chip and seal, not for maintenance, for paving, and $3.5 million of that was for for bridges, so he can start designing and going out for bridge work in the next couple of years. So if we do get some of this federal infrastructure money, he's ready to go, and he can't be more thankful of that. And one thing that I'm very proud of, and not only myself but the council, because I'm just one of 9, is that we're going to pave close to 40 miles of road this year in St. Joe County. And all over, not just in my district, but all over. But that's been unheard of, in my, 20 some years of experience with St. Joe County.
Great. Well, thank you for your efforts there, and definitely noticeable in and around the town. Bobby, as we start to wrap up here, folks have an important decision to make in quite a few races, in particular, also in St. Joe County District A. You've been there for a few years. You're on the ballot for re-election. Remind our folks why they should vote Bobby K for re-election in District A.
Well, I believe my service to the public speaks for itself, Jeff. One thing that I'm very proud of is receiving the Sagamore Wabash Award from Governor Holcomb in January 1st of 2020. I'm very proud of that, and about that award. The governor's, that's the highest ranking award a governor can give in the state of Indiana, and I'm very proud of that because of my service to the public, not just working, but my civic. I feel my civic through what I've done in my civic, and I'm a hands-on person, Jeff. I don't run from anything. I love challenges. It's been an honor to serve the residents of District A, and I hope to continue that. But yeah, I'm a problem solver.
Yep. Great. Well, thank you, Bobby, for spending some time with us today. He's Bobby K. Kruszynski. He is the candidate for District A, current councilman and candidate for District A council. Bobby K., thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.